Welcome back to another video. We are in the open greatly, and today we have a different team to feature. It is the Lanturn water gun version with Registeel and Mandibuzz. Here we have a great matchup as we are running the water gun version, and our opponent surely knows now that they're taking super effective fast moves. They go for the Stone Edge here. We are able to tank it. They switch out. We switch out into the Mandibuzz because we want to keep that Lanturn for the Bastiodon, and now we have this Mandibuzz versus this Medicham. Medicham is able to throw this Ice Punch. We're going to be able to tank it. We throw the Aerial Ace, and now it's just all about optimal timing. Here's it. We're going to have to think about shielding here. We don't shield. We are able to survive that Ice Punch. Mandibuzz, pretty tanky, already being able to survive 3 Ice Punches. In fact, getting a shield. In fact, getting 2 shields. So 2 shield situation right there. We're able to take it out. We decided to go in with our Lanturn here because we had a ton of energy stored up. Will this Thunderbolt KO? Huge KO, wasting all that energy from that Medicham. So their double shield situation ended up going to waste a little bit because all that energy that they had just went nowhere. We are able to shield a huge Earthquake. We're going to try to undercharge right here because we want to come out of this situation with energy. Perfect undercharge. We're able to farm it down, and we are able to have a ton of energy for that Mega Ganium. So GG's to our opponent right there. On to the next one. This is a team where you want to make sure you don't run into a Lanturn with Spark in the front. It's kind of tough to beat, but generally pretty good. As you can see here, we're going to be facing the Registeel. This Registeel is also pretty decent against our team, but we are able to at least fight back with some neutral water guns and this Thunderbolt. I'm going to go for the Surf here. As you can see, even with the debuff, we take down this Registeel to a sliver of health. Low enough to where we can switch, or we can use our own Registeel to farm it down, forcing them to switch. They end up revealing that they have the Sableye. We tank the first move because we know the return will not KO. And then now we're going to be throwing this Dark Pulse and then this second Dark Pulse as soon as possible. They decided to let it go, and we know since they tanked both of them, this is not a return. We're going to let it go, and now it's going to come down to whatever they have in the back. They revealed that they have the Shadow Gramble. Shadow Gramble is going to be able to do some heavy damage. We're going to be throwing this Focus Blast. They certainly are going to shield. We're going to shield here. We need to be able to keep this Registeel as healthy as possible. We're throwing optimal timing here. This is another Focus Blast. They have to shield. We already know that. And then now it's just a race. Don't have our move caught, and we are in good position, and that is exactly what happened there. So their last play right there was to try to catch a move. We were aware of that, and we were able to be patient and farm it down. So GG's. Coming back from a Registeel lead. So here we go. Lanturn, is this the water gun or Spark? Okay, this is the worst case scenario because Spark Lanturn is going to be able to beat our Lanturn, and it does pretty well against our Mandibuzz. So we don't really want to be switching. They decide to switch, interesting enough, which allows us to use our Mandibuzz finally in a great spot. We have to be careful here. We don't want this Mandibuzz to have a ton of health because we don't want this energy, or we don't want the opposing Lanturn to get a ton of energy. So we're actually trying our best to throw optimal timing, but also we're trying to tank as many moves. So at this point, I believe we're going to try to farm down because they decided to let it go, and these Aerial Aces are not doing that much damage. So we are able to farm down. We have a ton of energy, but as you can see, we are left with quite a bit of health, which is a great opportunity for this Lanturn to try to farm us down. So we're going to go for the Dark Pulses, which are neutral damage, and you can see if I get to another Dark Pulse, it would threaten a KO. So they don't get the full farm down. They have to use energy. And then now, so we have our own Lanturn, but they are able to catch a move. But they decided to shield because they think it was going to be a Thunderbolt. So now we have this Venusaur to deal with. We're going to shield the first one. And we actually go for the Focus Blast bait here. And they actually don't shield it. So That was huge damage, but they actually did not use that second shield like I anticipated. So that was could be a costly thing. So they actually had back-to-back, and these frenzy plants are actually adding up now. So they are actually able to catch a move, which is great for them. It does take out the opposing Lanturn, and now we have a race. We're going to go for this Focus Blast to get this last shield. We're going to switch out, and then we're going to throw our own Surf here. Because it's Shadow, this will be enough. So GG's to our opponent right there. Able to come back from double grass. Especially since they had a Lanturn in the front, that new Spark. So they had a great advantage. Gave up the advantage in the lead, and then we were able to kind of go crazy with our Mandibuzz. Is this going to be the Charm? No, this is a Powder Snow Ninetales, which is better for us. As you can see, these Water Gun Fastmans are chunking away at this Ninetales. We figured they would go for the Dazzling Gleam, but we are able to survive it, so we let it go. We go for the Surf for chip damage, and we know that this is probably the Weather Ball, so we don't shield here. At this point, we are going to try to either take this out or force a shield. So let's see what they do. They actually let it go. And they reveal that they have a Charger Bug. This Charger Bug is actually problematic. We only have the Registeel to deal with this thing, so we're hoping they stay in, to be honest. We're going to throw an Optimal Timing. We'll go for the Zap Cannon. Trying to get the debuff. We do get the debuff, which is great. Because now we can survive possibly 2 discharges. Okay, we definitely survived 1 discharge. We're going to go for another Zap Cannon here. Will they be able to shield? They go for the shield. We get the double debuff. We do let it go because we are able to survive it, but now we have to switch out. They decide to switch out as well. And now we're faced with the Toxic Pipe. This Toxic Pipe is quite tanky. We have to think about whether we want to invest shields here or later. We decide to let it go. They go for the Brine, which is a slightly more inefficient move. And then we're going to go for these Aerial Aces. We tried to get a shield at that point, but unfortunately we didn't get the shield. Now we go for the Dark Pulse. We're going to try to switch out. We are not able to switch out. The timer is not up. We have to shield here. They have the combo play. We have to double shield. And let's see here. We're going to try to throw an Optimal Timing here. We go for this Aerial Ace. This is certainly going to get a shield. And then now we're going to try to get to our Surf. Okay. They actually throw a move right here. So that's going to allow this Mandibuzz possibly to get to a move. Let's see. Okay. We throw 1 fast move. We are able to get to the Aerial Ace. Will this KO? Yes. And now it's the race. Are we going to be able to get to this Aerial Ace to do some chip damage? It is, but it doesn't quite KO. Our opponent ends up throwing a move. This move does take out the Mandibuzz, but because our Registeel was still alive, we win that match because our Registeel had more health percentage than their Pokemon. So really close matchup right there. And somehow, someway, we were able to squeak out that win. Here we go again. This is a Charm Gramble. We're going to stay in. We don't want to switch out. We only really have the Registeel to counter this thing. So we're going to try to chunk away at this. We do get the first shield. They actually switch out into the Wigglytuff. Interesting switch here. Double Charmers, double Fairy. They are going to bait out our Registeel here. So looks like they're going to go for the Disarming Voice. This Disarming Voice is resisted. We're going to throw an Optimal Timing here. And then we're going to try to undercharge, but we aren't able to undercharge. One Focus Blast takes out that Wigglytuff too easily. They come back in with their Gramble, so I'm already very curious on what they have in the back. Hoping it's not Triple Fairy. They actually end up switching. Oh, and then they reveal that they have the Ninetales. This Ninetales ends up being Charm as well. Shadow Ninetales is actually problematic for us, as we have to come in with our Mandibuzz here. This Mandibuzz is going to have to shield this move here because it's going to be the Weather Ball. But honestly, we're trying to get to 2 Aerial Aces. Will 2 Aerial Aces take out the Shadow? Okay. And then we have to invest all this energy just to take out this. We're trying to get to a move there. We are very close. And unfortunately, they are at a move right now. But they go for the fast one, so they take us out. So Check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.